right, first take, no script. Welcome to, I don't know, Irela's Aquarium Corner? Sure, whatever. I gotta break this stuff up, otherwise I'd be talking about this for like hours. So let's go and talk about plants today. I decided I'd go with just the order of the plants that I acquired them and how well they worked for me. So first, moss. That would be this clump here and here. This is Java moss. Order, as far as how easy is this to grow? Stuff will grow in your toilet. Stuff will grow in a vase. It's indestructible, unkillable. I have thrown out 99% of all of it I've ever grown because it never, ever, ever stops. The story goes, when I first started out the hobby, didn't really know how far I wanted to get into it. Everything was still kind of in progress. This table here was still being built, so I didn't have an aquarium yet. But I saw a little chunk of Java moss in my local fish store. I'm like, hey, I want to buy some Java moss. I'm like, oh, well, we don't really sell you Java moss. They're not really like a for sale plant. I'm like, well, I just want a sprig. Just give me a sprig. So for like, they just go in and they give me like a chunk like that big for like 25 cents. And I also knew I had some fish to feed the moss, feed them some fish poop. So I bought like 2 of these plain guppies, like 2 females and 1 male. Plain feeder guppies. And that little chunk of moss and those simple little guppies lived in a vase that was right here. No heater, no filter, feeding them just the most basic Petco food for like 3 months with nothing. And it grew and grew and grew. And I would classify it as semi-invasive. See up here in this tank, it's a little chunk of moss growing there on that wood, a little bit inside this plant. Can't really get rid of it, don't really care. So moss. Java moss. This is specifically Java moss. There's Christmas moss. There's Taiwan moss. They all have little differences to them. But Java moss, basic. Go for that. Indestructible. You can do a lot with it. Second one that I got, Anubias. That's this big green plant here. I've got 3 varieties for sure. I only know the name of 2 of them, and I only think I know the name of one of them. The little guy, Anubias nana petite. Very small. Very nice. Then this is a little bit bigger. Anubias nana. Medium size. Probably. I really like that one. And then Chunky Monkey here is just Anubias. I have no idea. Just Anubias chonk, I'll call it. It might be coffeefolia. I don't know. I've trimmed this one to hell and back. Like, it grew... It grows all the way over here, and it grew all the way here, all the way behind that log, and all the way sticking out over here, once upon a time, before it received the major butchering. So Anubias also, how do you grow it? In the toilet bowl. You can just grow it anywhere. Now, everybody says for Anubias, grow it, attach it to rocks or driftwood, attach it to rocks or driftwood, fine, whatever. Yeah, you absolutely can. However, if you look here, look at the roots. Fish, focus on the roots. There we go. See the roots coming off of it and going down, down, down. Focus on... And down into the substrate. Yeah. They don't need to be grown on rocks. They don't. They can absolutely be grown on the surface of the substrate. You do want to be careful. You don't want to plant them in it. You want the roots in the substrate. That's the gravel. When I say substrate, I mean gravel or sand or whatever. But you don't want to plant that stem. You just want the roots. And if you plant them in a really nutrient-rich soil, you get bright emerald green. If you plant them floating, attached to like a stick, you get a little bit more yellow. It doesn't get the nutrients. The reason the roots are so short is because I had moved this plant. Just like the Java moss takes over. This plant is 1/6 the size of what was in here. It grew
all the way out. It covered that plant. You couldn't see that plant. Grew all the way out here, all the way to the end of that, and there was a second jump. What is your problem? Okay. And it grew all the way down here, and that plant wasn't there. So yeah, Anubias and Java moss. You get those two things, and there's a lot you can do with just those two plants. After that, I think I got the variety of Cryptochiorni. Cryptochiorni. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is. This is also semi-invasive in that I pull it out and pull it out and pull it out and pull it out and pull it out, and it just kind of, oh look, it's freaking everywhere. it's everywhere. It's not a problem. I've had problem plants. Yeah, but this is not really a problem. I don't mind. But yeah, this is Cryptochiorni. Don't know how to pronounce it. Wendedii. I think this is the Wendedii version. And its brother, little baby brother, the green grass thing, that's also a form of Cryptochiorni. That is parva, and that is probably one of the slowest growing plants. That came in like a little pot the size of a quarter, and it just grew out as a bunch. It just slowly grows out. It doesn't spread at all. It just slowly grows out bigger. Well, if you want to make something, you break it apart. You break the pot apart, and you plant in and across a dozen plants. And if you take your time with it, oh yeah, baby, okay. Yeah, it grows. It really goes a ways. Now, this was, years worth of propagation spread out all over the place. And I really, I wanted it to do this, and I put the effort in. This tank was really funny to me in that I spent a lot of time choosing rocks. Choosing some really nice looking rocks. Can you see the rocks? Can you see the rocks? Little bit of white rock down there. You see it? Yeah. No, you can't. You can't see any of the rocks. Okay. Anyway. So let's see. Next one. I know you, Tristan really wanted some red plants. That is Alnatherii. I can't remember the exact name. I'll link it. Renekii. This is the Renekii version. And actually, let's go back to the moss a little bit. You might think, see like these clumps, fish, get out of the way. See that clump of green stuff growing back on the filter back there? That's might be a variety of moss, but it's not anything I grew. That's algae, I think. It's a form of benign algae, a little chunk of it right there. Doesn't spread, really. It just kind of grows in these odd little clumps. I think there's another chunk of it back inside the plant there. Oh, and all these little twiggy things. Yeah, that's all moss. It's like Java moss. So I don't know what this weird little algae is back there, but it's kind of it's around. Yeah, that's what that chunk of weird green moss is on top of the Renekii. So let's see. Next up, Pogostemon helferi. It's an Omatanx. I don't know how well this plant grows outside of CO2. I got that after I got CO2. Don't know how happy it is. I know that like if you give it lots of light, see this is a short tank, really bright light, it stays short and compact. Up here, it's kind of competing with the Cryptochiorni, so it's kind of like taller and lankier. So the less light it gets, the more it flies up to the surface of the water. But it'll never reach it. Next up, pearlweed. Yes, it's a small, tiny little plant because I have culled 99% of all the plant that's ever existed. I thought I got rid of it. And this plant only survived because it was inside of the parent plant in here. It was like mixed up in there. That little plant will grow all the way to the surface of the tank. And if I let it, it'll grow all the way to the surface of the tank and all the way to the other side of the tank. It's very prolific. I like it, but holy shit. All right, next up is this frilly leaf. That is Amazon river fern. It's also a very big plant. It only exists in this tank because it can only exist in this tank. It's growing over here, but if you see, it's sticking out there. There's a chunk of it there. It's everywhere. Yeah. Let's see. Ooh, I saw one of the plants that I forgot to look up. It's just a stem plant. Don't know what it's called. This is one where you can basically take this stem and just break it off and stick the stem back in the ground, both pieces, and they'll just keep growing. So it'll grow and grow and grow and grow. I really like it. It's ugly right now because I cut off the top of it, but it should look nice and frilly tops like this. Then let's come up here. This is Bucephalandra. Bucephalandra? Bucephalandra? I'm not sure. This is Bucephalandra Godzilla. Yeah, it's a bit of a Godzilla. But again, this is a case of where I bought one little chunk of plant like yay big, and it just kind of took over. I love it. Bucephalandra is one of those plants where there's many varieties, just like how there's some very distinct versions of Cryptochiorni. Bucephalandra has some different varieties. For instance, that's a variety of Bucephalandra. That little orangish leaf down there, that's Bucephalandra. And then this little frilly greeny thing, also Bucephalandra. Names of them? Have no idea. Haven't got a damn clue. So the other slightly reddish plant, it's supposed to be red. This is one of the ones where they're like, oh, it's bright blood red. Yeah, it's orange. That's Rotala, a variety of Rotala. I think that's Rotala Inca. It's fine. It's another stem plant. You can just break it in half and stick it back in the ground. It's very pretty. I like it, but it's not red. I bought it because it was red. Whatever. Let's see. What else have I not talked about? Okay, this is kind of a runner-up. See the little green leaves here? That is Starogen repens, and they say, oh, it's an easy plant. It'll grow in any situation. It doesn't need CO2. Yeah, bullshit. I've not had a lot of luck with this. It's died and grown back and died and grown back, and it was, for a time, kind of eating this whole area, and it just kind of vanished on me. And I pulled out a few little stems and planted them here. Don't know what, will they survive? I don't know. I kind of don't care anymore. So this green thing. Damn it. That's another one I can't remember the name of. However, it's not always green. This tank, see how far away from the surface of the water it is? As in, away from the light. Very emerald green. But if we go over here, it's growing right up against the surface of the water. Look at that. Some red leaves. I like it. Maybe I'll figure out what the name is. Maybe not. I also like... can you see it? It kind of grows like mangrove roots. And that the plant kind of feels like it's not even attached to the bottom. I really like the roots on that thing. All right, anything else? Anything else? I'm not sure. That's kind of it for now. There are many plants that I had and threw away. Each of these tanks has gone through multiple lifespans. I think this is the third version of this tank. I had I think it was something like Sagittarius, not Dwarf Sag. I can't remember the thing. They just called Dwarf Sag. It ate the tank. It was an invasive species of grass. Couldn't get rid of it. Had to basically destroy the whole tank just to get rid of it. So I have a fairly limited, quote unquote, limited number of plant species at the moment. But yeah, they grow a lot, and I love it. Yeah. Okay. So the redfish, these are they were very, very happy fish when they were young. They are not aging well as they're growing older. You see, we got some swim bladder issues. These guys always pointing up. This super bloated balloon of a female is, well, she has issues. I don't know what to do about that. Don't think there is anything I can do about it. All right, well, I'll post some links. See if I can't give you some links about what most of these are. The Bucephalandras, though, straight up, I can't even begin to tell you what these are anymore. My recommendation, if you're interested in them, is just kind of go to the website, the Boost Plant, yes, named after the plant. That's the name of the website, Boost Plant. And just look at all the Bucephalandras and find which ones you like. But they're also, yeah, they're pretty easy. So, alrighty. First take. Have no idea how well this will come out. I'll talk to you later. Bye.